We are in the Lagoon Campground located just south of the Oregon Dunes. We wanted to come out here, do a little shakedown run before our big trip in a few weeks to Arizona. We also had a couple of new pieces of gear that we wanted to test, some more functional than part of the experience, I guess you would say. We originally had planned on going to a remote location, but because the rain was just everywhere and because this was our first time out in a long time, we decided on a more traditional campground. There are no hookups here though, so it is sort of like primitive camping, but we are on a paved site at least. We got everything set up there. Melissa's starting breakfast. We came into camp last night. It was pouring rain, and this is not our original spot. We moved to this spot because our original spot was completely flooded out. We jumped online really quick, reserved a different site, and canceled that one, which we paid for a little bit, but it was definitely worth it to come over here. No water. It's nice sand. We have a spot to put out the awning and everything. Let me walk you through some of the new things that we got and kind of let you know how they're working out so far. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing we added since our last trip out was a roof rack, which, as you can see, has plenty of stuff left over to add stuff to. As of right now, I don't have anything here. I think I'm going to do a water jug and just attach it here, especially since Rotopacks just came out with their new 5-gallon water jug. I think that would be perfect for that. Up top, this is actually the Apache case from Harbor Freight. It's waterproof, it's low profile. More importantly, it's affordable. Now, there is a downside. It's a little shallow. It's not very deep. So let me show you really quick what we have on this side and how it works. So even with the water on the top, it dumps off the back, doesn't get in. So on this side, we have our other bamboo table, and I put our Devos light in here, which I actually have set up. That's why it's not here. And then I did get some waterproof locks, master locks from Home Depot. I mean, that's plastic. This is more gonna keep honest people honest. If someone really wants to get in there, yeah, they're probably gonna get in there. Now on this side, I went ahead and mounted our traction boards to this side, and boy, did they barely fit. Watch the clearance here from the window on the Bronco. She is close, but that's good enough. On this side, I put all of our recovery gear, straps, soft shackles, tree saver. I got some flashlights up there. I had our tripod torch up there. The main reason we got this was because this was the first time we were taking our dog camping with us. So I wanted to get stuff out of the cabin and up onto the roof or out of the way, just because we need to basically have the whole back seat just for her. So that's another piece that we added. That would be this. Basically, it straps, it covers your back part of your seats. It straps up around the headrest. It provides a platform all the way to the seat. And then you can unzip these like this. You can kind of see on the other side, I have it down. This goes up. I added the handlebars here. So that just goes, in a regular car, it would go to your handle that's here. And then it zips up on both sides to kind of keep them in. It has a nice mesh front here so they can kind of see you, gives them some airflow, but it keeps them from getting up into your front seat. In addition to the roof rack, we were at REI and I spotted this little guy. If you look, our foot rail is kind of offset from that. And in order to reach kind of back there, you can do it. I did it yesterday, but this little guy makes it so much easier. That just hooks into your latch, and I will show you that you can indeed stand on that. It supported my weight, so let me set you up on the ground here and you can see that it does in fact hold quite a bit of weight. Just like that. Now I can even reach to the center of the rack if I needed to. And then it just folds up and I just stash it right here under the seat. The next piece of gear we added, this Blackstone. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you might be saying, well, I thought you guys had a Blackstone. We did, or we do. We have the traditional 22-inch, I think, or 24-inch Blackstone, and you know, we gave it a good run. I just don't think we're cast iron people. So Blackstone came out with this, as you can hear that yummy bacon. This is their 22-inch Adventure Ready. The lid closes up on here. You got dual burners. Now you can get this in 2 configurations. We stuck with the griddle top across the whole thing, but you can get one that's half griddle and then half grill top to put a pot or a pan on if you don't have a different solution. So this one is actually non-stick. It is not cast iron. And after cooking on it last night, what would you say? Ellie Mae. The dog's going crazy.
Way better than what it was before.
Get over here. She's trying to protect our camp. There's someone coming in. Ellie Mae, come on, get over here. Take 2. We're back. The Forest Park Ranger was going around emptying the garbage, and well, Ellie Mae was being a little protective of the campsite, so we had to leash her up.
Right to jail, right away.
So as we were saying, it's much better. The non-stick, very easy to clean. So yes, we gave up on the cast iron. Say what you will. We're still going to use the other one at the RV as like a home griddle, like we cook outside when it's nice. This one is going to serve us much, much better than the other one.
And it cooks quicker.
Like Melissa said, it cooks quicker, it heats up faster, the ignition thing works great.
One time.
The grease cup stores, you can't see it. I'm not going to take it off because it's hot. But right behind here, there's a little slot that turns sideways and slides in. It's also a lot lighter than the other one, so we're also saving some weight. Going back to the reason of I'm glad we picked this campsite. This campground is just south of Florence. On our old Blackstone, I had gotten an adapter to go from this traditional regulator to your 20-pound propane tank. Well, as we went to cook dinner last night, we realized we did grab that hose out of the carrying case for the other Blackstone, but put it in the other storage compartment of the RV and didn't have it. So I had to run back into town. Florence is about 15 minutes north of here, and grab some 1-pound propane bottles so we could cook dinner. Had we chosen the other spot, we would have been kind of stuck. There was nothing nearby. Thankfully, we picked this spot. Next thing on the list, along the theme of bringing Ellie Mae with us on trips, we got this folding dog bed. Folds up really small. It's like a nylon material. So it's kind of waterproof. You can see last night we had it kind of shoved in the corner there underneath, and it rained a little bit overnight, so it's a little wet, but you can see it just beads up on the top. She liked it. She laid on it. She's in here now. What do you think, Ellie Mae? Oh, she's getting some water. So let's move around this way to the back of the camper, or the side of the camper. Turn the light on in here. Okay, we added a second power station. This was our first one, the Anker Solix C1000. We added that one. It was on sale on Amazon, plus I had some gift cards and stuff, so got it for a great price. The reasoning behind that, the original reason we got the power station was obviously charge my phone, charge Melissa's phone, charge all my drone batteries, the GoPro batteries, everything. And it would allow us to plug our TV in and the Starlink. I have another video that shows how I ran it in here, so I don't have to run the Starlink cable each and every time in here. Well, since we've last been out, Melissa has been diagnosed with sleep apnea, so she has to bring a CPAP now. We wanted the second power station so that we could dedicate one to charging all our devices and running her CPAP, and then one for the Starlink and the TV, and even as a backup to charge some of our other phones or whatever else we need charged. Last night was a good trial run to see, okay, what are we looking at as far as battery usage? On the Bluetti, I had the Starlink plugged in for about, I would say, about 5.5 hours total last night. And we're down to about 57% battery overnight. I didn't charge anything else off of it, so that was just running the Starlink. And now on the Anker, which is just a slightly less capacity than the Bluetti, we charged both of our phones. I charged my watch. We ran her CPAP, and it's down to about 67%, 68%, somewhere around there. I'm glad we got both. To also help with that, I wanted to see, again, how much we would use like in a night. Like tonight we'll probably watch some TV with the Starlink, and obviously that'll use up a little more power. But to charge these two things, I have solar panels. They do work good if you can catch some good sun. Now I don't know what the sky looks like on the GoPro right now, but you can kind of see it's actually a little wispy and there's some hints of blue sky. But like yesterday, I mean, it was dumping rain, just dumping rain until probably 7 o'clock last night, and then it stopped for a couple hours and it started again for a little bit. So you ain't getting much with solar on days like that. Now on our trip to Arizona, sure, we probably get plenty of sun, but in an effort to avoid having to use the solar panels, or at least just use solar panels for the camper battery, we got this. I posted an Instagram story about it, but I didn't really say much other than that. While we are driving, I also got the Bluetti Charger 1. It is an alternator charger for your power stations. I've already tested it and it does work on the Anchor. Basically, you run cables from the Charger 1 to your battery. There's a nice little circuit breaker here. You can turn it on and off. However, the internals of this will also turn it on and off when it doesn't sense alternator battery voltage. It comes with your solar connectors here. You will need to buy adapters to adapt to your power station. The Anchor, most of them come with these. The Anchor uses an XT60. I had an XT60 by the solar adapter, and then the Bluetti came with their own solar. I don't know what this connector is called, but that is the Bluetti connector to charge. I will just sit them. I already test fit them on the shelves here, lock them in, and then I can just charge one while we're driving for a little bit. Once that's fully charged, I can plug it into the other one. Figuring we'll be driving 5-6 hours a day, it should charge them both back up if we're only using about half of it per night. I believe when I tested the Anchor, I can set it up to the maximum wattage or voltage. It was charging at like 227 volts. When I was testing it, I should have taken footage of that. Maybe I will when I plug them in, because we're going to go take off to the beach. I will plug it in so you can see how well it's charging. But I believe from like 50%, it would have only taken a couple hours to charge it to full. I wanted to do a freeze frame here so you can take a better look at the data on the screen. As you see here, it is currently charging at 262 watts at idle. At the present state of charge you see here, it should reach 100% in approximately 1.9 hours. As the engine RPMs increase, your alternator will supply higher voltage to the Charger 1, thus increasing your charging watts. On the way home from camp, the Charger 1 actually charged the AC 180 from 13% all the way to 99% at about 70 minutes. That's nuts. One more thing I want to point out with these alternator chargers, please keep in mind your current load, any added lighting, other peripherals you already have attached to your battery. Our Bronco came with the onboard inverter, so we already have an upgraded alternator. Depending on your rig, you may need to upgrade so that you have enough juice to not only charge your car battery, but power everything else you have since added to your electrical system. It's a nice supplement. Even if we don't get them all the way there, it'll get them up pretty decent to last us the whole trip. We are going to be out on the road for 10 days in Arizona. No stopping at campgrounds in between. We're going to stay at traditional campgrounds on the way to Arizona, and once we get done with the trip, we'll be staying at a couple campgrounds on the way back that'll have power, and if we needed to, we could charge everything. But that should do us good to keep them topped off and hopefully not have to throw the solar panels out each and every time. Now, if we happen to not do a lot of driving one day and decide to stop early or whatever, and I need to get the panels out, I'll keep the panels with us as well. Staying in the trunk of the Bronco, I saw these at Overland Expo last year, and I meant to buy some. I remember us looking at the demonstration, stopping by the booth and saying, oh, we'll come back and get a kit, and we just forgot completely about it. I got these to secure the power stations down to the shelf, and I'm telling you what, these are worth it. You can get these so tight. It's like a ratchet strap. I'm not sponsored by them, but these things are legit, and they sell them in all different kinds of configurations and widths. This is the 3-foot by 3/4 inch wide. I figured it was fine. Well, I got two 2-foot ones for the Anchor, because the Anchor is just short enough to fit under my Starlink bracket that I made in here. If you didn't see that video, you can check it out. The Bluetti is too tall to stand up straight, so I have to lay it on its side. I thought the 3-foot one was gonna be long enough. It's not, so I had to use 2. I'm gonna probably get a couple of 4-footers, and the 4-footer should go around. I had just the one strap around it, and it is just a little, even as tight as I can get it, which is tight, it's still, because you only have the center connection, the thing still wants to twist around and stuff. So I just wanted a little more secure back there, especially we were driving on paved roads all the way here. Once we're off road and going over bumps and dips, you know, stuff's going to shift around, and I have a feeling that just that one strap around the center is not going to cut it. Here you can see now I have the Bluetti strapped down with the roller cams. I mean, you can see how tight that got. but with just the one strap around, like I was saying, you can see this still kind of shuffles around. The charger one plugged in here, that gets plugged into the charging port. What's nice, if you're using Blue Eddy products with the charger one, all you have to do is go in the app and select the unit that you're charging, and it automatically will pick the right voltages and everything for you. With the Anchor or any other power station you want to charge with it, just look and see what the maximum charging voltage is. I believe the charger one, the highest it let me go was 57 when you choose the custom profile, and the Anchor Solix can actually take 60, so I can charge it at the max voltage that can supply. We're getting cleaned up from breakfast right now. We just had breakfast, and we're gonna go see if we can drive out on the beach while we're here, and while we're doing that, we'll let that charge up. We had a little fun on the beach. Now we're back at camp, and I think we're gonna go walk some of the hiking trails. That'll about do it for this video. So though there's some of the new things that we got, they seem to be working well. We definitely need to remember to grab the hose for our big trip for the Blackstone. Other than that, shakedown trips are important. Don't go too far from home, and test your gear before you go. Don't go out into the middle of nowhere with untested gear. You will regret it. So anyway, the next video probably won't be until our trip. I might sneak something in there, but if not, we will see you in Arizona. Thanks for watching.